All right, hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Comic Book Radio. I'm your host, Peter Cimetti. This is episode 133. Tonight my guest is Pedro CAICEDO. I hope that I said it right. I should have asked him before the show. Before we bring Pedro on, and he's such a great dude, very talented, very busy dude, I want to let you guys know, yesterday we should have had a show, but it was a cancellation. Mike Murphy was going to be on, but there's an illness, just like a cold, going through the household over there, so he had to cancel. We'll reschedule with him for another day. Everything with him is fine, though. His family's fine. It's just one of those, he wasn't feeling good enough to do a stream or anything, which is okay. Instead of doing a stream yesterday, I decided to catch up on orders because it is, of course, the holiday season. So I managed to get a bunch of stuff done last night, and I'm almost caught up with everything. The fulfillment for the new books at Alterna, that's taken care of. So that's all done. I'm getting caught up on a bunch of other orders. The hoodies, blankets, beanie arrived today, along with the King Cryptid 3D printed figures, and then a bunch of other orders on the site too. As witnessed here by Dr. Mask, says he's got a big box on the way. So there you go. But we got a show the rest of the week, so I'm here for you guys. Hope you're all doing well. It was a relatively long weekend, I guess you could say. Andy Gogo, what's up? Says, I approve the mech outfits of the future. Oh, on the thumbnail. He's got, what is that? Waifus and kaijus, or kaijus and waifus. Interesting. Very interesting. It was, it was a good thumbnail. Ben, what's up? How's it going? Thank you for being here, Ben. Jaded1 in the chat. How's it going, Jaded? We also have Cole King here. How's it going, Cole? Holy Hand Grenades. What's up, Holy Hand Grenades? Hope you're doing good. We got Charlie in the house. Says, hey, people. Hope everyone's doing okay. Looking forward to my King Cryptid, Pete. Thank you, Charlie. Appreciate that. And speaking of King Cryptid, tonight is the second night out of 3 for a new moon special, the last new moon special of 2023. And that would mean that you guys can go and check this out on kingcryptid.com or alternacomics.com/kingcryptid. Bookmarks, a sticker, and a magnet. So you get 2 bookmarks, a fridge magnet that's 3x3 that says "Feed Your Inner Broog," and a bumper sticker, glow in the dark. I break for Behemoth. And you can go check that out. Pick that up. $15. Free shipping worldwide. So go check that out. Again, it ends tomorrow. All right. So without further ado, let's bring him on here. We got Pedro in the green room. The man of the hour. Pedro. What's up, Pedro?
Hey, I'm doing great, and sorry to call you and the ambiance. I apologize beforehand, but guys, I live in the jungle. I'm surrounded by nature and life, and it's noisy.
Understood. Well, as long as they stay out there and they don't get in there, we should be just fine. Pedro, how did I do on your last name? I should have asked you before.
Oh, dude, it's funny. Like the thing's like I studied animation in Canada, and it was a sport for people to pronounce my name because it's CAICEDO, so it's very
CAICEDO.
Latin. Yeah, there you go. So yeah.
Okay. I was so close. CAICEDO. Okay.
Yeah. CAICEDO. There you go.
Nice. All right. Now I know.
Yeah.
I should have done that. I'm not a professional.
That's all right. No, that's half the fun. Like saying how you read it and you say it. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Interesting. Okay.
That's why I go by Ang. It's easier, and I mean Ang is the nickname I have ever since like I'm a kid.
Oh, why is that? How'd that come about?
Oh, Anguilla means eel, and I was skinny and I used to swim, so they called me Anguilla, so it became Ang. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Very
it
nice.
stuck with me. Yeah.
Both Cole and Brian, I want to answer your questions really quickly. Yes, if you
Yeah.
have the King Size Campaign subscription or the Supermoon bundle, which is included also in the King Size Campaign subscription, the New Moon special for December is included in that, so you don't need to repurchase that. And yeah,
Mm.
I messed it up. I know I messed it
Nah,
up with the
wasn't that
name.
bad.
All right, I was close.
Yeah.
All right, so
Dude,
Pedro, you've got a lot of things going on. You're a
yeah.
multi-talented dude. For those that maybe don't know what it is that you're up to or what you've been up to, can you give us a quick summary?
Well, yeah. I'm an animator by trade. I've been doing animation for the last 25 years. I used to own an animation school and used to work in commercials. And then ever since 2019, I said, let's make comics. That's why I started animation to tell stories. And I've been doing commercials my whole life. So yeah, I've been doing comic books and doing trailers uh, for indie campaigns. That has been like the little niche I found in this indie environment, and it's been going really well so far. Like indie clients are really good clients, and I'm making a lot of really good relationships with people, and I'm getting paid on time, and I can afford to be surrounded by the jungle, so it's all good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anything that any project in particular that you want to give a shout out to that you did a trailer for?
Oh, so many. This year, the thing is, like, I've been working with this dude, and basically making a series, but he hasn't launched it, so I really can't speak about it. But this year, I've done a Kuri Inu trailer that was awesome. I did the Camel Moon trailer for Boots and Heels. I did a trailer for a comic book called Discord. I worked with Clint Kalinsky on Slave Girl for Planet X. Uh, several several trailers, and I've been working on Waifus and Kaiju. Just mentioned it. It's the writer. I want to strangle him because the story is really long and I love it, but it's
Did
gonna
you,
be like 130 pages.
you want to
And
strangle your writer?
yeah, yeah,
Who is this
but
individual?
oh, it's Ginge.
Okay.
Shout out to James Gingerton. And yeah, dude, like I came up with the concept. Like I drew the girls, I drew the robots. I kind of gave them like the idea of what I wanted to do with this. It's like, dude, like people love robots, people love kaiju's, and people love waifus. Why don't we make like a kaiju book with hot chicks? And dude,
Is
he's
that
just
is
went to
that what a
town.
waifu is? Is a waifu is a hot chick?
Yeah, well, an anime hot chick. Even though I don't really draw in the anime style, like it's drawn in my style, but yeah, it says like, okay, let's make an international team of hot chicks that like pilot robots and they fight giant kaiju. So, but he came up with this story like very international, intergalactic opus. It feels like Gundam. I love it. It's like, dude, this is a lot of story, but I love it. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna do it, but I want to kill you. Yeah, so
Are you
yeah,
guys
that's what
breaking
we're.
it up into several books or just one big book?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I like the challenge, and I don't know if it's gonna be economically feasible. Maybe it will explode in our faces, but that's part of being indie. Like, you do what you want, right? So we're gonna make one big book, and maybe we like separate it in different books later. But offer like the first book for backers, like whoever wants it, and then just section it. Because like the prologue of the story is like 30 pages. Like that's already done. And yeah, it's just like the story of how the technology came to Earth and who the big bad is and how like humans learn to build the robots to fight the kaijus. That's like the whole prologue, and it is just like I feel like I'm doing like Robotech or Gundam. Like the story feels like that, so it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So for you, in terms of your inspirations on not just this project, but a lot of the other projects
Mhm.
you've been working on,
Mhm, mhm.
where does that stem from in terms of your love of animation?
Yeah. Okay. So to understand where uh,
It got
I
really
could say
dark over there.
flavor. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
It's
there you are.
yeah. To understand I should call it like flavor of the stories I tell. It's how I grew up. Because we in Panama we don't have like comic book shops. Like basically, if you want a comic book, you go to the pharmacy, and basically getting a comic book, I equate it to being sick, and your
So
mom's like,
instead of
oh,
getting a
it's just
subscription, you've got a prescription for comics.
yeah, exactly. You get a prescription, like your mom will get you your medicine, and like here's a. But we do get a lot of sorry, this is noise. Uh, we did get a lot of anime from Japan, like on TV. Like before, like Japan animation and all that movement, like in the 80s, we would get like all the giant robot, like super mecha anime. Like we were
Mm.
watching that. We were watching like El Gato Cósmico. What's the name of that? It was this blue cat without ears that would bring everything out of a pouch. Looks like a
Oh, I know.
Doraemon,
Yeah,
I think it was
yeah,
called.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So we would
Doraemon
watch
or
like
something like that, right?
Doraemon. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will be watching that. We're watching like Messengers. You guys called it Transfer C, I think. Messenger, the Z. Uh, Steel G, King. Like I grew up watching all that. So when I got into comics, I was already old, like 19, like 17 almost. No, yeah, 17. Because my brother worked at this paper recycling mill, and he get like a lot of like comics to be recycled. Like he just took it and gave it to me. So I have this uh huge collection of dilapidated comics, and that's how I started reading in this order like X-Men and all this stuff, and I fell in love with the thing. But I've always been into robots and that kind of like giant kaiju stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, so all the stories I tell seem to have that flavor. Because I mean, we're doing weapons and kaijus. I'm doing tropical magics too. Tropical magics has that like technology, dystopian element too. And
Mm-hmm.
then we're doing another story, which is like my attempt of doing the Lord of the Rings style thing, but it's only dwarves versus goblins, and it's also like permeated with technology from the dwarves. Like I imagine like a dwarven civilization going all the way to the 18th century and how that would look. So they will have like cannons, gunpowder, but it would be like dwarven in culture and aesthetics. So it looks it's an interesting look.
Kind of like a
Uh,
like
uh,
a like a dwarven steampunk sort of thing.
Almost, yeah, because there's like dirigibles and there's they have like bikes that have like like call them like mantis. Like yeah, I can show you some designs later, like how that looks.
Like
But I mean the
time
project,
bandits. You ever see Time Bandits?
yeah, dude, I love that movie. Yeah,
Okay.
Time Bandit was awesome. Yeah, dude, like little people, my jam.
So what is it about big robots you think is appealing to
Hmm.
people? Because I think we should
Well,
probably be really frightened, but instead many people are fascinated.
yeah, yeah. I think the fascination comes from how those stories were told. It was always like the world is in dire straits. The armies of the world failed, and this 15-year-old kid goes into like his secret father's basement and discovers this giant robot, and now he's the answer to save the world. You know, so that whole aesthetic was permeated through all those super mecha animes. So maybe it's that like yeah, it's an eclectic of the cuff answer to a huge problem. It's not like you're a trained soldier or whatever. Even though if you see Gundam, it's completely different. Like that's just despair. But I'm talking about like the super mecha like Gaiking, Messenger Seed, Voltron. It's always kids. So that kind of permeated at least my generation with that. Like yeah, like I'm gonna be the pilot of the robot. No, or maybe that's my assessment. Which
Yeah, no,
I
that's a
could be
pretty good
completely wrong.
assessment, I think. It's kind of like an
Yeah.
empowerment story, the way a lot of other
Yeah, exactly.
superhero
Hmm.
or supernatural type of powers being imbued upon somebody,
Hmm.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a pretty good assessment. Uh, what are you finding that's really difficult in terms of your
Mhm.
storytelling, getting it out there? Uh, what have been some of the hurdles in terms of
The
bringing these
hurdles,
projects to life?
uh, putting it down in the flow of ideas.
Mm.
Because when I'm especially when I'm designing, I get like have like a truckload of ideas just by seeing the design, seeing the silhouette. Like I'm thinking about stuff and pick the proper one to make the story work. 'Cause you can have like a lot of ideas, but when you bend them together, they might not like mesh properly, and then you have like a jumble of things that look cool, but you can't really connect with everybody because it makes no sense. So getting to through all that like white noise of just like cool ideas and say, okay, this is what you want to tell. This is the core of the story. Adhere to that. That sometimes can be difficult, but I enjoy it too. 'Cause then I grab those ideas and put them on a drawer. Like that's for later. That might work at some point.
Yeah, yeah. As an animator,
Yeah.
are you bringing in a lot of that expressive aesthetic into the comic work that you
Yeah.
do too?
Yeah. Yeah. The things I was very apprehensive about myself because I mean when I got into the indie scene, like I mean 2019, everybody was like, yeah, well, I'm into the 90s comics. Like my drawings don't look like that. So I was very like, oh, am I gonna be accepted? Like, it was like, oh, that's cartoony. Get out of here. You know, like, I'm actually expecting still that. But yeah, the malleability of expressions you get as an animator, it showed in my drawings, and I've gotten like good comments on that. Like, yeah, like you make very expressive faces, but that comes from animation and know like how the musculature of the face works, and yeah, so that should be an asset. Yeah.
Yeah. That's something that's I think really important in terms of storytelling for comics
Hmm.
because there's a
Yeah.
lot of comics out there where it could just kind of be like the same face over and over, same expression,
Hmm. Yeah.
gritted teeth or like a closed mouth or there's something crazy
Hmm.
happening and the character is like dead faced. Like they don't
Yeah. It's
acknowledge.
it's it's very Zoolanderish. It's just like everybody has like La Tigra. No matter what's happening, it's always like a model face. Like, dude, like allow your character to react to the environment or what's happening. Like, I mean, through our facial expressions, we acknowledge our reality. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
not
yeah.
having that in your rational affects your storytelling. I think at least. So yeah, but that's something. Yeah, it got dark. It's gonna get dark again because I'm gonna
Oh,
look for
okay.
the some of the designs of Webs and Kaiju. So
Are you
it's
only being
that's
lit
the
by your
thing.
computer right now?
Yeah, the things that
Okay.
I like to dwell on the dark. Like I hate like lights. So sorry.
You're in the
Yeah,
darkness. You're in the jungle.
yeah,
Interesting.
exactly.
Okay.
It's in the trees. Just like
I
a
am
better.
talking to somebody here, people, in case you popped in just
Yeah,
that
yeah,
moment.
yeah. Hmm. Yeah, dude.
um,
Sorry. Yeah, but
no problem.
yeah, like the things like I wanna walk you through the process. How I design stories. Like so far with waifus like and kaijus, I have like around. Let me see. I don't wanna lie to you. Around 40, 51 concept designs
Wow.
before I drew panel one. Yeah, it's like I go nuts, and Jin's just taking advantage of me. It's like you like to draw. Let's make him draw. But yeah, it's 130 pages now. So guess I get
Are
I get what
those
I deserve.
the concept designs for just one character?
Oh, I got the characters, size comparison charts.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
like how I feel. Like I get questions and I answer them in drawing. So this is the preliminary design of like the mech suit. So I wanted to basically do a mesh between like a technological bikini. Yeah, that's what people want, right? So that logo was a placeholder. We have a proper logo now. And then I started like, okay, so we need a pilot from Korea for some reason. So I designed Sujin Kim, no robots yet. Then this is the American pilot, Jackie Harris, and again, taking the concept of the like technological bikini wherever. Uh,
The
I
I
don't
like
know
that.
if we're, yeah, I don't know if we're using him. Like he's not part of the
The
story yet. Like he's
techini.
supposed to be, yeah, a tech kini, and this is supposed to be like a tech primate support next stem, but I don't know if we're using it. It's not in the story yet, and this is my first attempt at a kaiju. I didn't like it. Uh, then I this is the final logo we're using for it. So we got the pilot, and then like okay, we need some robots. So this was the first robot, and I don't know why I thought like okay, he's from he's from Ireland. It's just like stream of consciousness. And I just start like, okay, so it's a banshee. No, it's a valiant angel. Like it's very convoluted. So we need an Irish pilot. So we got Sophia Ryan here with its tech bikini. And then speaking with Jinch, like at this point, started talking with Jinch. He started writing, like, yeah, let's make like an international like team of robots that are fighting an alien threat. And I mean, this is like full inspiration from the 80s. Like, you remember like those long sequences of the pilots getting into the robots,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
makes you wonder like, why don't the enemies shoot at any moment within all that sequence?
Yeah, like
But
time is frozen as they
so
do all of this.
yeah. So that's the thing. Like, that's gonna be a part of the show, like part of the comic book. Like, there's a huge like getting into the robot sequence, like. So more poses, like yeah, like how versatile the suits are. So how are they gonna move? So I'm just testing poses here, but very simple, not that much rendering. It's just like
Do you work 100% digitally?
I can work I can work analogically too, but I don't have the space. Like I need to get a new table, new
Hmm.
drawing table. So once I get that, like I might do some like analog drawing. Yeah, that's why I'm only working digital at the moment. But it's not like I prefer that. And then it became crazy. Like yeah, we need a pilot from Spain. So in doing that, then three robots became like nine.
He's got to be in like a
It-
giant like bull mech.
oh, dude, you don't even know. Like now, do we change his name to Silvestre Villaverde? And this is his robot called Cervantes.
Oh, there
So
you
the,
go.
yeah, so that's the thing. Like, there's like several countries, like they form a coalition, and they each put their mechs. This is the second American robot. It's called Iron Man, and it's piloted by a boxer, Tyrese Watson. I don't think his name is that anymore. I think it's Daryl something. But yeah, so that's
Wow,
the thing.
how
This is
many
before doing
characters do you
like
guys
panel
have
one.
in this series?
Oh, there's 8 pilots from different countries. There's an alien race that are helping the humans, and those are 3 characters. There's a general, and there's Joe Rogan, also it's part of the story.
Did you say Joe Rogan?
And yeah,
Joe
yep,
Rogan is in the story?
yeah. Because the thing's like there's like a tournament to see who gets to defend the Earth, and Joe Rogan is like the commentator. And right.
Oh my lord.
So yeah, so it's gonna be fun. It's not like all like serious. Like it has a little bit of whimsy, but it's high stakes. Oh, this is the Korean robot. The
This feels like something
this
that
is
could be a
piloted by
video
Studio.
game. Like I
Yeah.
could see like on the video game,
Oh.
kind of like that. What was that? Rampage, that game. It reminds me of
Hmm.
that. Like, but
Yeah.
they'd be in the suits, fighting each other.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is
Wow, there's a
the
lot of
Japanese pilot,
characters.
obviously, and we. Yeah, I'm telling you, like I went nuts, and I deserve that to it to be
So
130 pages.
what
Uh,
about the kaiju's? What kind of kaiju's are they up against?
oh, there we go. Like you saw that, like the different attempts at kaiju. So I was like, I don't have a great idea for kaiju's yet, and that's coming later because that was like 4 days of frantically drawing. So basically, this is like the standard military rogue mech. It's based on alien technology directly, but this is like the cannon fodder. Like these are gonna be uh, destroyed basically, and these are the trainers. This is like the Irish trainer for the mech. This is the American colonel that trains Jackie Harris. That's the American pilot. More concepts. Checking out how they're gonna move. This is the Indian mech. Jesus Christ. Come
There's
on.
there's a
Uh,
lot.
yeah, I'm telling you. This is the Chinese mech.
It's like
The thing is,
Gremlins
like
2 over
everybody
here.
does like Son Goku, like the yeah, and
You
this
ever
is
see
the big
Gremlins
bad.
2 when it was like every
So this
single
is
thing you could
Lord
think of was a
Cersei.
gremlin?
Yeah, 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 exactly. This is like Gremlins, but with mechs.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is the big bad, and this is Lord Cersei. And so the Kaijus is not gonna be like Godzilla or whatever. Like this is he's encased in rock, and this is like a sentient proto-organic rock that can interpret DNA and basically makes like a mockery of life. And okay, this is
Oh
the
wow,
Indian
I
pilot.
just saw you did the
Uh,
whole the what you're picking from at the side. Holy
yeah.
smokes.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so this is basically like a sentient rock that traverses the universe, absorbing planets, and Cersei like basically it's melding with it. So it will tell spores, and the kaiju's come from this beings interpreting the world's DNA. So it's basically using your own world against you. This is the Chinese pilot, and Jesus Christ. So these are the spores. They will latch into a horse, and then they will make an interpretation of a horse, and that's how like the kaiju's
How
are
long have you guys
conceived.
been working on this?
Me, this is like 6 months of work, on and off.
Wow.
This is the yeah the that one of the things like that as an animator I draw fast, so I'm taking full advantage of that. So this would be like how kaiju's look like. So it's like they're like a rock, like a giant rock, and it's like a horse with wits. So that's basically how we. I think I have one in color somewhere. Yeah, this is an alien mech. This is the alien ship that reaches Earth, and that's how they. And I'm not telling you anything about the story really. I'm just showing like the designs. This is like what I was interpreting on like because I don't want to use like light speed as in Star Wars. So I went like, do you remember that movie Event Horizon?
Yeah.
Yeah, where they like open like a black hole and traverse through the black hole and be on the other side. So I'm trying to interpret that, but this is not like the final. It didn't end up looking like that. This is like uh, Earthly or a spaceship from Earth after they get the technology from. It ends up looking like this, like the jump technology.
Man, oh
And
man.
Cersei basically wants that jump technology to basically consume planets quicker, and that's like the subplot. So the aliens jump to Earth, uh, and give it the Earth technology, but it's not like Certec, it's coming like the slow way, and so Earth has like 30 years to prepare for the invasion. That's how why we have like all the robots and whatnot. So that was all Ginger's idea. And so one more like doing tests on.
All right.
So yeah, this is all previous
Pedro.
work.
we
What's
gotta
that?
put
Yeah, I'm
we
gonna
gotta
stop.
put some of this away.
Yeah, stop. Tell me to stop. Tell me to stop. Yeah, you see, I go nuts. I have to
How
rein
much
me
of
in.
this? How
Yeah.
much of this was your concept, and then how much of it did Ginge run with?
Oh, right now, Ginge has been using around 70% of the concepts,
Okay.
and but it's really a really well structured story. Like I really enjoyed reading it, and I'm having a blast like drawing it. So yeah. But all I've shown you today, like I gave it to him, and it's like go crazy, and he went as crazy as me. Like that's the thing, like when you're working with somebody, you gotta find somebody that it's in tune with your level of crazy, and that way things flow. Is
Yeah.
if you go with somebody who's not vibing with you, might like start pushing you to places you don't want to go, or will take you to a place you want to be, but he takes you kicking and screaming, and that, like, I don't know, like, destroys the relationship, I think.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
you know
And I
how it
mean,
is.
yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes there's really talented people too that you think, oh yeah, we should do
Mhm.
something together. Then
Yeah.
you find out, like, man,
Mhm.
we're just not
Yeah.
vibing on the same level of how to tell this story. You know.
Yeah, exactly. So I'd rather have a lot of friends. So it's not like I don't want to work with everybody, but I'm very careful. Is dude, like I admire most of the people I meet, like on an artistic level. But once you get to work with them, and that's why I love doing trailers with people, is I see their workflow. I can say, I can work with this guy. Or, ooh, no, I'd rather not. I'd rather not go there. You know what I mean? Like, if it's something that it's cool. I love everybody, but it's delicate.
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand.
Hmm.
So in your experience, what are some of the differences, the biggest differences between animation and making a comic?
Oh, the size of the teams, man. Oh, and animation. Like, I haven't. I've only worked in like 2 or 3 big productions, and they would be considered like mid, not really, because big productions is like 270 people working on the same project. Like that's a big production. Uh, I worked in productions with 40 people, and I did another one with 16. And yeah, the thing's like there's so much money involved. You don't really have the creative freedom you have with comic books, and that's something that we as creators should appreciate. When you're doing products for yourself, you might not have the big budget, but when you have the big budget, that's somebody's money, and somebody's money will always have a say over artistry. So that's why people are always complaining, like, yeah, like why, like I don't know, like anime tells the stories they can tell, and we can't do it here in the Western world. And it's the money. Who puts the money? It's just like, okay, I'm putting the money for this animated show. We're entertaining kids. There's no adult animation. There's no money in adult animation, and that's the mantra, and that's why we get the shows we get. No,
Which is so
with
strange.
very little exceptions. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's very strange because of the fact that obviously there is. There
Mm-hmm.
is money and an audience in that. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that it seems like for a while we were getting to a good place with that, and then
Mm-hmm.
it
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
nowhere again
okay.
became, you know,
Yeah.
animation for
When I
adults.
studied, yeah, when I studied animation, I went to animation school in 2002. And the Cartoon Network revolution was winding down at the moment.
Mm.
You know, so there was a huge renaissance in '89 when Ralph Bakshi did Mighty Mouse. And the thing with Ralph Bakshi's Mighty Mouse, which would be counterproductive to most fans here, is that he broke the curse of the '80s. We had great shows in the '80s, and I'm not bashing like any of the shows like He-Man or Voltron or all of that, or G.I. Joe. But all the shows of the 80s were known as licensed shows. So a licensed show is like, okay, we have this toy line, we need an animated show to sell the toys. And the problem with that is that the animators had to follow the design of the toy. Those designs did not cater to animation, so it was really difficult to do well. So you see a lot of like wonky GI Joe episodes or He-Man. It's just like those designs are not made to be animated. When Ralph Bakshi did Mighty Mouse in '89, the designs were made for animation, and the animation was so much better. And he went nuts with the scripts because nobody was paying attention to what he was doing. And dude, that show was a celebration. And from that show came like Johnny Bravo, came like Cow and Chicken, Ren and Stimpy, like all that like really good shows of the '90s that were more like sitcoms, but animated. And that became American animation. That was awesome. But that died like in '99. And yeah, from there, like we've got moments. Yeah, we can say like there's been a movement anymore. We have moments here and there. For example, Thundercats 2011, great celebration of American animation. Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra, both series, awesome celebration of what can be done if you allow the artist to flow. But as I said, it's moments. It depends. If you get like a 70-year-old guy, like yeah, I can put $1.8 million for a season, and I'll let you do what you want. Like how easy is that to get? It's really hard. With a comic, you get a couple $1,000s, you get a good penciler, a good inker. Like it's more manageable to people that are not like obscenely loaded.
Yeah, with adult animation, at least in the States, it feels like if it's going to be for adults, it has to be simplified and not really,
Mm-hmm.
for a lack of a better word, beautiful. It's got to be kind of
Yeah, no,
ugly.
the thing, yeah, the thing with the character designs, like, and people blame Carl Arts with reason. Uh, you see, introspect like the Carl Art style. That yeah, the things like the Carl Art style allowed the teams of animators to be bigger. There was a disconnection. Like I did study under like the great animators of old, like under them. Like Lee Mishkin was one of my teachers. Brigida Polinen, she worked in Tarzan. She was one of my teachers. I met Bob Godfrey. I don't know if you know who that guy is, but he directed like the Yellow Submarine video by the Beatles.
Oh, okay.
Remember that animated?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
He lectured in my school, so I did get like that connection with the past. But animators now are getting instructed by guys who some people they came out directly from animator school and became teachers. So there's not that like great connection to the animation of the past, and that's what kind of like permeated the Call Arts style because it's easy to draw though in that style, so you can have a bigger team. And people don't. I mean, this sounds a little bit conceited, but people don't grow as animators. Like you can't give them like okay from doing. This is gonna sound horrible. From doing Adventure Time, you can't do like Fire and Ice by Preseta. Like you can't make that jump. Like you don't have
No,
the tools
I
to do
understand
that.
what
Like
you're
you don't have
saying.
the
Yeah.
luck. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a
And even
tremendous
though,
level of growth that's not really going to be put in place because of the
yeah,
way that the industry is.
mm-hmm.
We see the
And
same thing
even
happen
though,
in comics, you know.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like a lot of people like don't know who Neil Adams is, and they're doing comics. So that disconnect, it's something that I don't know. Like the people who know should like I don't know take the time to spread the word maybe because that's the thing. Like Fire and Ice, by the Frazetta book, like it's visually stunning the designs, but it's all rotoscope. So as an animator, to me, it's a little bit
Yeah.
jarring because it's very syrupy animation. Like I say like I would make a different decision there, but the the attention to detail with the anatomy, it's undeniable. So, I mean, you appreciate what you can appreciate, and then you kind of ignore what's jarring. But yeah, dude, like I don't know, like, is there gonna be a Hayao Miyazaki in America? I don't know, man. Like, have you seen the Boy and the Heron, the trailer?
No, I haven't.
Then you, oh, dude, you gotta check it out. It's like this is gonna be the last Miyazaki film, and he went all out. And dude, it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But yeah, like I don't know, like what McFarlane did with Spawn. You remember that series in HBO?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That to me was a step in the right direction. Even though it was limited by the budget, because there's some scenes that are just like a static drawing, like and the voice and the voiceover, and you can tell like yeah, we ran out of money here. But still, like it was moody. It had an aesthetic, like yeah, like I don't know, like I don't lose faith in what can be done in America. Because, for example, like Batman the Animated Series, awesome example. Uh, the Hellboy animated, like it's an animated movies they make, but
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
the fact that they grab that style, the style of Hellboy, which it caters perfectly to animation, and it's not ugly. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah.
because that's the thing is that sometimes I'm seeing the animation itself, not the designs or
Hmm.
anything like that. The
Yeah.
animation itself on some
Hmm.
things is great, but the
Hmm.
designs are.
Yeah.
I look at it and I just can't get into it at all.
Yeah.
I'm
That
thinking
that's the
of like
thing. Like.
that latest Ninja Turtles, not the movie. I think it was like
Mm.
Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, something like that. Where the one where like Raph is huge, and then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that
Yeah.
one. Like the animation looks great, but I can't get
Yeah.
into the designs whatsoever. The aesthetic of it is just it turns me right off.
Yeah. Okay. So the things like that angular style comes from that's an European influence with that angular style of because that's very like in Canadian schools you see a lot of teachers that will teach you how to draw like that,
Hmm.
and it's basically those angles allow you to guide the animation better, but there are ways to do it and make it look pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I
Like there's
think
this
it
movie.
for me it
Yeah.
was specifically just more the designs of the characters and things like
Hmm.
that, as
Yeah.
opposed to you know.
Yeah. Yeah, but that angular design is made for control. That's what I'm trying to explain. Because the thing is, like, you have to be able to rotate the shapes in your mind when you're drawing.
Yeah.
And in animation, it's like very, very important that you know how to do that. So if you give them angles at certain points, those points would allow you to rotate it better. And that's why they go there. But they uglify the sign sometimes, just for like allowing the function to guide the form. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It should be a balance.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
Mhm.
agree. Um, what is it that's going on with? And I know some people enjoy it. I don't. I feel like it's kind of stilted. Like the frame rate is kind of
Hmm.
low or
Yeah.
something. But
Yeah.
like the Spider Verse movies and things like that with that
Hmm.
animation. Um,
Yeah.
what's going on with that kind of stuff? Do you know
Yeah.
how
So
that works?
basically, yeah. So basically, they're playing with the frame rate. 'Cause normally, when you animate classically, like hand drawn, you play with something called exposure, which is basically an exposure is if your second is 24 frames. If you expose one drawing one frame, it's called exposure on once. If you expose uh, one drawing every 2 frames, that's called exposure on twos. So what they're doing, since now they're animating digitally, that's all out the window. So now what they do, they play with the frame rate. How do we make that 2D exposure on twos translate into CGI? And now they're doing an 18 frame per second frame rate, and that's how you get
Oh,
the
okay.
look on in Spider-Man. And
Yeah, I
yeah,
hate
it's
it.
a little bit wonky. It's a little bit wonky. Like I didn't like it.
It
The
looks
things like
kind of like
in
an
2D.
animatic. You know, when
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they're
exactly.
not. Yeah,
Hmm.
and again, that was one of those ones where I was like, oh, it looks good, And then I saw the animation, and
Yeah,
I'm like, why is the animation kind of just like wonky? It makes me feel
mm.
like I'm not seeing things
and
correctly.
and there's one single point why it looks the way it looks, why it doesn't look right. When you do it in classical animation, you have lines and line weight, and when you expose and choose lines, that weight gives the drawing presence. But since you're doing CGI and you don't have a real outline, you have a model. It
Mm.
just looks wonky. There's no line weight to the art. It's kind of, I don't know. They thought they were being clever.
I
And the
guess
things
I'm.
like they did that a little bit also. Yeah, they did
Yeah,
that in that Netflix series, the one based on the game. What's the name of that? Uh it was a really good show that it's based on that like PvP game that's for free. That
man.
I'm
I
blanking out. Arcane. There you go. Arcane.
Arcane. Okay.
In Arcane, they played with the frame rate, but they did it better because the designs catered to that. If you haven't seen Arcane, look it up on Netflix.
Yeah,
It's a good
Bancroft
watch.
is always talking about it.
Yeah,
I don't have Netflix, but yeah, Bancroft is always talking about Arcane.
yeah,
They have that same.
yeah. No,
Is that what you were saying? They have the same kind of frame rate.
they're not exposing it. Yeah, they're not exposing an 18, but they're playing with the frame rate. It doesn't look like the normal like syrupy CGI. So they're doing stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Doc says maybe that's why I wasn't crazy about those movies. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
dude.
mean,
And that's the thing.
yeah,
Like, even if you don't have the knowledge, like the body knows. Like this feels wrong. You know.
yeah. Like I've never
Yeah,
done drugs, but I'm like, this feels like I'm doing drugs.
yeah. Oof. You can be. Actually, you know what? The colors also help with the psychedelic element of
Yeah,
Into the Spider-Verse. Like, I saw the first one. I haven't seen the second one. And yeah, dude. Oh, Ivan Sanchez. What do I think of Jenny Tartakovsky? Dude, that guy's my uncle. Like, I love him. Oh yeah. I'm doing that. I'm doing that. And
awesome.
I did a lo-fi. It was very soothing to do that. Like normally when they commission animation for me, it's always like an action scene. It's like, "Ah, you a lady reading in the rain." It's like, so it was a nice synth bass.
That's cool.
I love that. Yeah, I love that. So yeah, Jenny
Yeah,
Tartakovsky's
I
Primal.
I have a
It's an
love hate
awesome
relationship
example.
with Primal
With
because I
Primal? What's
yeah
that?
only because I really dig it, but I have to give
Mm-hmm.
it my active attention, and I can't
Mm.
do other things.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
have like that
That's
love hate because there's not a if there was more
yeah.
dialogue and that kind of a thing, I could kind of have it
Mm.
on in the
Yeah.
background and get a gist of how the story is going.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's meant to be
Yeah.
watched. It's not meant to be necessarily just
Yeah,
heard.
dude. No, but
But so I dig it.
that's a
But it's
compliment.
like yeah,
Yeah.
but it's one of
Hmm.
those things where I'm like I have to find time to actually sit there because I saw like the
Yeah.
first 4 or 5 episodes and I was like, man, like I
Oh,
can't.
dude,
I gotta do stuff. I
it's a
can't just
crazy.
keep. Yeah, I can't just keep sitting here and
Yeah.
watching it. And
Yeah, it's a
yeah,
commitment.
but yeah, I like that kind of animation and
Mm.
everything about it, the style, everything. I thought
But
was really
dude,
cool.
Jendi,
Well done.
dude, I've been following Jendi since Dexter's Lab, and
Oh yeah, yeah.
Dexter's Lab was awesome. Then he did like the Clone Wars, classically animated shows. Remember those like 3-minute episodes of the Clone Wars?
Like the little
He
he
Yeah,
had
little
like
shorts.
shorts. Yeah. Oh
Mhm.
yes, that's right.
He
Yeah,
did
yeah,
those
yeah.
shorts. Yeah,
I'm thinking
yeah,
of the 3D
yeah.
computer CGI one, but yeah,
No,
you're
no,
right.
the Clone Wars, yeah. The Clone Wars was cool because it expanded a lot on the stories, but I like the Jendi shorts better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's more like Jedi's were extremely cool, and dude, Mace Windu was a beast. But
Yeah, I remember
what
those.
what he learned from the Clone Wars, yeah, what he learned from the Clone Wars, then he went into Samurai Jack. And dude, Samurai Jack to me was like a fable. Like even like how they treated the backgrounds with pastels and whatnot. It's a very beautiful project. And from then he went like full adventure with Symbiotic Titan, which was fighting with Ben 10. So nobody knows about that show. he made Primal, and now he's making like Unicorn Warriors. I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
It's gonna be jarring because he wanted to do Popeye, like he wanted to do a rebirth of Popeye,
Oh,
and
that would have
he
been cool. He would have been good for
yeah,
that.
but the studio didn't get the rights to do Popeye. So Unicorn Warriors, it's like a D&D game, but with Popeye designs. So it's
Oh,
kind of
okay.
like it looks weird. And there's
Huh.
like a steampunk robot that like it's like a Swiss knife, but the expressions and everything, it's like you're watching Popeye, but it's this like serious magical like high stakes, high magic story. It's jarring. Like I don't know, like that to me is like the first miss out of Gen D. It's Unicorn Warriors, but yeah, dude, I'm always
Interesting.
on the lookout to what he's doing. Yeah.
Yeah, Doc, I
Yeah.
feel the same way. I didn't mind
Mhm.
Samurai Jack. I don't like it as much as a lot of people do. I gotta
Yeah.
revisit it though. I haven't seen it in maybe 12 years. But
Yeah, it's a long series though.
it's one of those shows I have respect for it. But I'm like, man,
Hmm.
sometimes there be
Yeah.
episodes where I'm like, this feels like I just watched the
Mm.
same episode 3 times.
Yeah.
Because the plot doesn't
Yeah. The
really.
thing is
If the
like,
plot was a bit
yeah.
faster moving with the
Hmm.
progression of
Yeah.
the story, I would get into it a lot more. But it would
Yeah.
feel like that
The thing's
sometime
like,
where I'm like, it's like the
yeah.
same sort of thing
Yeah,
happening
it's the
here.
same repetitive. Like, get to the town.
Yeah,
There's a guy abusing the town. Beat the guy. But artistically, that was a very challenging show, especially if you see like he was trying to not use like outlines on the characters.
yeah,
The the backgrounds were done in different mediums. Like when they did fire, they did oil painting. When it was like snowing, or they did pastels. Like dude, like I was always like amazed. Like dude, this
yeah.
guy
The
spent a
artistry of it
lot
was
of time.
great.
Just,
Yeah,
yeah, and that's why I was glued. But I understand. Like it tend to be really boring, really quiet
yeah, yeah.
for
That's what I mean. Like
people holding their swords and thinking.
I have to be like absorbed and have the time to sit there, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I really appreciate it the way it should be appreciated, and that's on me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not on him. Uh, but it is one of those things where
Yeah.
finding that time is difficult.
Hey, Jose
I,
Garcia's here. What's up, Jose?
yeah, Jose's here. What's up, Jose?
What's up,
Uh,
dude?
so I know this is an animation, and everyone's talking
Mm-hmm.
about it lately, but it's like that
Mm-hmm.
Godzilla -1 movie. You know, it ties back
Yeah.
into you're working on a book about kaiju's. Um,
Yeah.
were you a Godzilla fan?
I was a Godzilla fan because of my father. He was a huge kaiju like fan. He would take me to the movies to watch the movies in black and white and matinee. And I don't know, like Gamera was my 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 hero. Like I've always been like it's always been a presence. But I'm not really like a kaiju guy. Like I would go crazy and have the posters and whatnot. I appreciate it because I grew up with that. But I wouldn't say Gatsuki was. I never got Gatsuki. Like Godzilla's son. It's like, especially in the movie, like that face, it was like a monkey face, but with a lizard body.
It's like everything else. It starts off serious, especially you see it a lot in horror
Mm,
franchises. They start off so
yeah.
serious, and then by the time it's like
Mm,
the third or fourth sequel, it's the goofiest crap
mm.
you've ever seen. And sometimes it
Yeah,
works
it's
in its
just.
own weird
Mm,
way, and sometimes it's just horrible.
yeah. It's just like Chucky has a bride now. Like, oh, okay. Ooh, oh, who was that idea?
Did you ever see the Godzilla cartoon with Godzuki?
Yeah, of course. Only with Gatsuki, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but that's the thing. Like, Godzilla and Gatsuki, it's a perfect example of how horrible the 80s were for animators. Not so much for people who were like watching the shows, but for people who work in animation, the 80s was a living hell. Like what we're doing now, what Rainbow Bright? What is this? Okay, okay, I guess we're doing what? She has a pony. Okay, ugh. Yeah, dude, it was. And the thing is, like, most of my teachers were animators in the 80s. So, dude, it was like the most like
What 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 would
curmudgeony,
what would they have wanted to
defeated by
do
life guys
differently?
ever.
What would they have wanted to do
Oh,
differently?
the
Had they
thing is
did
that
they say?
yeah, they would say like the thing is like working in a licensed show is very restrictive because the things that you would finish a scene and then a guy from Hasbro or Mattel or whatever
Yeah,
will
they
come into
approve
the
over
studio and
it.
say
And,
like,
yeah.
yeah, the sign like you're missing this line over here. It's like, dude, I want to strangle you. And the thing is like, animation is like it's a lot of work, man. And you've been working in the scene for like 16 days, and it's like, I don't like the expression on Barbie. It's like, sure, I'll change it. You know, it's 5 more days of just changing a face. So yeah, that was like the thing. Like in the 90s, where you were working in Johnny Bravo, it's just like, what's funny, you know? So that's for animators, that was the change, and that's why animators love more the 90s than the 80s. As an as a show viewer, I love the 80s, but as an animator, I see it with dread.
That's
Yeah.
pretty funny. Yeah, I imagine the
Yeah.
approval departments and things like that would be a different
Oof.
process,
Yeah.
and that in and of itself would probably make it not
Yeah,
as
dude. Like
enjoyable
one of my
to
teachers
work on.
work on Black Star. You remember Black Star?
Yeah,
Yeah, the guy had like the star sword, but yeah. So, dude, Black Star, like they have like this very like Middle Eastern Asian look, the whole character design, and that was a nightmare. It was like the eyes are not, and it was kind of racist. Like the eyes are not right. I was like, the eyes. So yeah, it was another time, man.
oh man, boy, I swear, it's it's like what Billy Joel says: the good old days weren't always good, and tomorrow ain't as bad as it seems.
Yeah. It feels like you get to enjoy the moment. Like
Yeah.
right now,
I gotta say though, I do love way more of the stuff from back then than
Yeah.
what's currently being made. Just story wise, in and of itself.
yeah.
I
Okay,
find
like
that it's
on
way more
Sunday,
enjoyable.
like yeah, like on Sunday, I treat myself to a marathon of the gummy bears.
Oh man,
Remember
yeah,
that show?
yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Gummy
that show
bears
was
bouncing
awesome.
here and there and everywhere.
Yeah.
Voiced
And dude,
Cavan's voiced by the MC Bat Commander from Aquabats.
yeah, dude. And the things like the signs of the ogres were superb. Like I love like you just stream some lines and it's like it's a horror show. You know what I mean? Is Duke Ickthorn had an army of like ogres. Like, dude, I love that show, man.
Yeah, that's a good show. That's a quality show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lorenzo Music
Good
was a
quality.
voice on there too, right?
And that's the
He
thing,
was,
like those Disney show from the 90s were also really like DuckTales and Tailspin and
Oh yeah,
Gummy
Darkwing
Bears.
Duck. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Disney had some
Yeah.
pretty good animated shows in the '90s. That's true.
Yeah. That's not coming back.
No.
Yeah. They're as dead as my animation hole puncher. Which is something like I don't know, like I've been showing this to everybody because I moved back to the old family home and I found my old animation hole punch. It's all rusty. It's full of like you
What
see
is it?
this?
Oh, okay. I see.
This is an Acme hole punch. And
Whoa.
this is how you get like your but yeah, like the springs are all like rusty. I have to restore it.
It's like
But
Antique
that's how you
Roadshow.
get the, yeah. That's how you get like the square circle square peg red registry to animate. So yeah, I bought that when I had the animation school and yeah, dude, like that's how those shows were done. Like flipping pages and drawing.
Man. So you have, I'm guessing, a lot of patience when it comes to drawing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, actually I draw really fast. So now
How'd you
that I'm
develop
doing
that?
comics, I have live drawing.
Okay.
You go, you get a model, you do okay, let's do 30-second poses. and you just do gesture, 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 gesture. And like, let's do 20-second poses, gesture, gesture, gesture. Then you get 10 seconds, and 10 seconds is just like a scribble. But after a while, that scribble looks like a person. So once you get that, like you can do like any kind of poses, like everything would look dynamic. So when I started doing like, I noticed when I did the book for art, black and white, high octane, like I will be given like 6 pages to art in a day. Like here you go. And I was like, whoa, 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 slow down. Take your time. Like this is great, but and he basically he taught me how to ink. You know, because I mean comic books and animation are two different beasts. And I have to learn to slow down if I'm going to do animation. So actually, I have to say I am patient, but because I can do a lot of drawings in a day. But if I have to stay in one drawing, I feel like I'm dying. So I'm like retraining myself to say like, stay, put some lines, do a happy little tree, like so yeah.
Oh man, that in and of itself is a skill to develop, and that's something where I have a great deal of respect for people who could do it well, because I have no patience when it comes to that. I just want to move on. I'm like you when you said you're stuck on a thing the whole time. It's just like, whew, this is rough, But in terms of like sequential storytelling, and then I can't even imagine with animation on that
Okay, so
level.
the way
so
I
many
do
drawings.
it, something that I did at first, like I would work on 6 pages at the same time. Like I would do the layouts, and I'll do like, okay, I do all the poses, like, okay, and I'll do all the poses on the 6 pages. So I'm working on different things throughout the day. Then I go, okay, let's go details on one page, one panel, let's do it to another page, and that way, I wasn't like contemplating ending myself, and I was getting a lot of work done. So, but now like I do practice every morning. Okay, let's do a pose. Let's finish one drawing. And yeah, like I'm getting a balance. Like I'm getting a groove after 4 years of being in comics. I finally think like I'm getting a groove to work on as a comic book artist. I think.
Yeah, I mean, it takes
Yeah.
time. It takes time. All of it is,
Yeah.
especially when you're coming from one kind of industry that's sort of related, but you're going into, you got to almost like
Yeah.
retrain yourself.
Mm-hmm. It's the thing, like people think it's the same thing. Like, yeah, you should be able to jump into comic books. Like, not really. Like, it's not the same techniques for coloring. Even though I do borrow a lot from color correction when I'm coloring, and that also allows me to color fast, because I can do a lot of like primer colors and then just use color correcting techniques to get the results I want.
Mm.
But still, like I don't know if I can communicate in a comic book unit, like in a studio. Like if people see what I'm doing, it looks like I'm editing, or I'm like compositing in After Effects, but not really. It's just how I understand a color. But that comes also from like editing videos and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah. Man, well, I feel like I learned a lot today, Pedro.
Whoa.
So thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Like I don't know, I ramble a lot. It was
No,
funny.
I don't. I don't.
Like,
Yeah, I
Pedro,
don't think
stop,
so.
dude.
Well, that was more because I had so many things I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah. Yeah, I go. Like I'm not like I don't take offense to that because I know how I get. So yeah.
Well, I mean, you got a lot of great work, and you got a lot of awesome projects, and irons in the fire, all that. So it's great to see.
Yeah. Like I'm very excited. Like I'm almost 50 years old, but I feel like I'm 49.
No way, man! Wow, you look great.
That's mountain life and killing your own food. That's people should go back to that. Yeah, dude. I live like surrounded by trees and whatnot, and yeah, like it helps. It helps.
Yeah.
I eat a lot of corn also. I don't know why. My corn intake has gone up.
Is it like I'm guessing it's like wild corn? like grown,
Yeah. Like
and
people, yeah. The things like people around here, they plant their own corn, and at one point of the year they trade with it. So I mean, I work in as a designer, so I have cash. So it's cash for corn, and some guys like, hey, I have 6 pigs, so we have a pig now for Christmas. It's down there, and he's gonna get his in a couple of days. Poor guy. But yeah, like it's a different kind of life. So and yeah, I'm getting a chainsaw for Christmas because I'm chopping my own wood.
I was gonna say it's getting serious over there.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is the jungle.
Man, oh man. All right. Well, before before the show takes a dark turn about
Yeah. Okay.
Pedro's adventures with his Christmas gift chainsaw,
Yeah.
we're gonna end the show right here. Everybody, thank you
Mhm.
guys for being in the chat today. Your questions and comments always appreciated. Pedro, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me on X as Anguilla, and I have 3 shows I'm being a part of. It's the Ginger and Pedro show every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on YouTube. Pontificators, which is today, like at 8 p.m. with RT Bear, Clint Polinsky, Todd Mulrooney, Rob Hunter, and me, and Comic Book Bob. And I'm doing also Nerd Bacon with Luke Stone Thursday morning. And I have an announcement. Next year, I'm starting finally my online animation school. So if you don't want to learn the basics of animation with open source software, so there's no investment on your behalf, called OpenTunes.
Wow.
I'm going to start giving classes. It's going to be a lot of like 10-minute videos and a live stream that I think is going to be on Friday. So if you're into that, be on the lookout because I'm preparing the classes and it's going to be awesome. So yeah.
That's fantastic.
Waifus and Kaijus. Yeah, Waifus and Kaijus. Join the mailing list. We're at 100 and something. We want to reach 200 before we launch. So it would be nice if you spread the word or just sign up to Waifus and Kaijus. And yeah, it's going to be on Fund My Comic, Kickstarter, Indiegogo. We're going to launch on the 3. So you guys make your pick.
Awesome. Yeah, and I've got the link in the description of the show for that, so you guys can go check it out, go sign up. And other than that, if you guys enjoyed the show today, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Bring that bell for notifications. I've got shows the rest of the week. Tomorrow night, let's see. Tomorrow night, I've got Otis Frampton on the show at 9 o'clock Eastern, so I'll be back for that. We'll be talking about what he's up to. And again, King Cryptid, we've got the New Moon special tonight. If you're a King Size Campaign subscription backer or a Super Moon Bundle backer, that's included. If not, check it out. You get 2 bookmarks, a glow-in-the-dark bumper sticker, and a fridge magnet for $15. Ships free worldwide. That's anywhere at all. Ships free. So check that out. It's on alternacomics.com/KingCryptid and KingCryptid.com. That is coming down tomorrow. So tomorrow will be the last day to get that. Make sure you pick yours up before it's too late. Other than that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. Pedro, thank you so much for your time. And just a great conversation. It was a lot of fun talking to you, man. And I'm glad to see you're doing so many awesome things. So thank you for coming here and sharing them with us.
My pleasure, man.
All right. Everybody, take it easy. Have a wonderful night and an even better tomorrow. See you guys soon. Take care.